What is going on, guys? My name is Selfdestructps, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my personal opinion on Far Cry Primal. Now, this game is set to be released on the 23rd of February 2016, so actually not too far away now. Not a Far Cry. That's some cheeky jokes in there, right? Anyway, I know I'm a little late to the scene with this, as the game was officially introduced in its first trailer over a week ago now, but with the start of Battlefront Beta, I've been super busy doing that montage and stuff. If you haven't seen that yet, you need to go check out Onslaught, the start of Battlefront montage. But anyway, I'm actually going to be saying that I think Far Cry Primal is a really bad idea. So Far Cry Primal is an addition to the Far Cry series of games, and this time it's going to be set in the Stone Age, so you'll be Neanderthals, and in the trailer they show off big beasts that you can hunt and a little peek into the kinds of weapons, characters and landscapes you'll be in. Now, the landscapes actually look really impressive. Of course, they are untouched by industrial developments and concrete buildings, so the world is a fully natural place. It's always been a similar way in previous Far Cry games, as a lot of the emphasis is put on kind of separating you from society and home comforts, and I just think this steps it up even more. What I fear with this game, and there's going to be a lot of things negative I'm going to be talking about, is that it's taking away too many key elements which are present in every other Far Cry title. First, we have the weapons. They are seriously limiting themselves in this department. Guns and explosives are staple elements in a Far Cry game. Some of the most fun in Far Cry 4, for example, is unlocking signature weapons, having explosives, blowing stuff up. I mean, there were bows and arrows and crossbows in Far Cry 4, but imagine you could only use them and maybe some spears. It just restricts the game. And in every other Far Cry game, they always talk about new gadgets, new guns and explosives. One of the coolest additions to Far Cry 4 was the grappling hook. Things like that, just cool gadgets and stuff, they're not going to be able to exist in Primal. I just think they're removing one major aspect of the series, and although change is a good thing, a lot of the time, this just doesn't seem quite right. Another aspect which is limited is vehicles and transportation. Without cars and trucks, the world is going to take a lot longer to navigate, and it kind of means Ubisoft will be able to get away with shrinking the size of the world, and it also limits fast-paced gameplay in Far Cry. Also, characters. In the Stone Age, human interaction was very different to how it is now. We don't even know what it's like, so they might, it depends how they're going about it. If they're going to make a realistic one, you know, they might not even have any language or anything, just maybe simple ways of talking to each other. But then again, if they're going to make it more fictional, then they might have English. But another thing is, how are we going to learn to fear our enemies if they're not witty and kind of have grand plans? I know in Far Cry 4, Pagan Min, Far Cry 3, Vars, they're both insane characters. They're so evil and oftentimes very likeable just because of how crazy and funny they were in the game. And taking it back to the Stone Age, how can we have leaders like that? How can they have so much control and be this kind of overwhelming force which you can't really escape in the game? Like, they're not going to be able to have control like they do in Far Cry 4 of the world. Now, what about culture? That's the final thing. The population of man was very sparse back then, and actually man wasn't even at the top of the food chain. In fact, there were many beasts which are much bigger than man, so the idea of settlements may not be present in the game. Side quests, I mean, what kind of side quests are there going to be? So many Far Cry 4 side missions involve technology. You got like vehicle deliveries, destroying media stations, huge watchtowers. I don't know how these are going to be included into Primal. I guess you can have like a big tree. But just kind of the idea of society, in, you know, in Far Cry 4 you've got like different groups of people fighting each other. You've got like settlements, you've got like people needing help, and I just don't feel like it's going to be possible to put into Far Cry Primal. Now, people are saying this game is going to be completely different to the other games, but how I see it, it's going to be like Battlefield Hardline. It's just a different setting with a big name attached to it. I think it's just false advertising. This game, it's just not going to be a new Far Cry experience. The developers even said in their developer trailer, this is still a Far Cry game, which just means, you know, we've changed a few things. It's really difficult to address certain areas, but it's a new playground. All this means it's still Far Cry. They aren't moving away from the roots, and the idea that this actually does need to be completely new doesn't seem to be applying. Hardline failed miserably and was overall shambles because it didn't do anything drastically different, because it was just attached to the Battlefield label. EA did not want to go out and break new barriers because they did not want to leave their comfort zone. Far Cry Primal has that Far Cry name tagged on, and that means they are not going to make it new and different. There's not going to be, you know, this food system and stuff. If it's Far Cry, that's one of the key elements of Far Cry, is that's not even there. Instead, I think that all they're going to do is take away key aspects in the series and just leave it very, very basic. Now, this game, I don't think it's going to be a survival game. It's not going to be like H1Z1. It's not going to be like Minecraft where you have to eat and find shelter. I just think it's going to be Far Cry without guns, vehicles and technology, and I think it's going to fail. Although I'm not 100% sure about how this game's going to turn out, I really don't think Ubisoft are going to change enough in the series for it to be interesting. I think it's going to be hyped up with survival aspects, and they're not even going to be present in the game, and I just think it's going to get boring. That's my opinion though. What is yours? I've seen two very different sides to this debate, many claiming it's false advertising, some people having faith in Ubisoft to create a very new experience. I do hope Ubisoft will succeed with this game, but I honestly don't think it's going to be good just at its core idea, and how they're really hyping it up. They're not talking about survival elements yet, and it just looks like Far Cry without some of the key elements there. That is all I have though for this one. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like. It does help me get my content out there. And if you agree with me, more people can hear my say. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.